Hello everyone, it's Flagon and I'm here today with another episode of Pokemon Emerald. This part is part 22, and previously two legendaries decided to just start a fight here. It's like, it's like two guys fighting you when you're trying to do your work in school, and they're just beating each other up beside you, and you almost get hit because they're clumsy and they can't, keep to themselves. I'm not speaking from experience or anything, no, trust me, I'm just not. So I know it's been a little while since the last episode, nearly 2 weeks. I really need to get my finger out and start making these weekly rather than bi-weekly. There's a lot of walking in this little section here. Steven leads us down to a cave that we'll never ever go to again. After this, of course. That being said, I really like the music here. In Sootopolis, I mean, in the Cave of Origin, it's just the same as Meteor Falls. Which, incidentally, I still do really like quite a lot. And it looks really cool too. It has more of a purpose in Ruby and Sapphire though. I won't deny that. Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, is indeed at the Sky Pillar, waiting for you. That's always irked me about its pronunciation. It's pronounced Rayquaza, not Rayquaza, as you may be led to believe. I believe it's got something to do with quasars, which is something to do with the ozone layer or something. Something to do with the sky, at least. And there's another weird one as well. Arceus. Or should I say Arceus, because it's not pronounced Arceus. And I don't know why. Is it because it sounds like arse when you say it? Because that sounds kind of weird to me. All in all, I think people should just pronounce it however they want. It's good to check the map regularly when you're in this watery area, because it's pretty big and there's no clear indication of what is where, other than the wee route 1, 2, whatever, at the side whenever you change routes. The Sky Pillar is on Route 131, I think? It's on the way to Pacific Town, which is an optional settlement that you don't need to go to. Although, it does look pretty cool. I wouldn't want to live there, ever though, because it's on the sea, so just one angry wave would send your entire life to the briny depths, and you would probably drown. That being said, if you do live there, you've probably been brought up to be a strong swimmer. So maybe you won't be sent to the briny depths. Maybe you'll just lose everything you have, so you'll wish that you were sent to the briny depths instead. Also, this fucking idiot wants to fight me, even though there's a literal meteorological marvel happening. It doesn't help that I'm considerably higher leveled than all of his mons. And I'm really not sure why it just did Ice Ball. Here's a fun fact about the moves Ice Ball and Rollout. I believe if you use Defense Curl before using them, they double in power. There is also a move that does that if you use Minimize, and then someone uses Stomp or Steamroller, I think? Yeah, Steamroller. If you use Minimize and then someone uses either of those two moves on you, it will be Sure Shot and it will do double damage. I think I've got a bit of a cold today. Just ignore my disgusting nose noises, if you please. Even the wildlife's trying to, like, get killed. What an age we live in. I'm not opening a drink. Promise. I didn't drink anything there, no sir. On the plus side, at least we won't have to deal with them again, and at least it's decent experience. The squad is leveling. Isn't that something? I believe to get Star U, they've got some really cool mons here, like Star U and Starmie are probably one of my favourites because they're so weird. They got some good moves and they're good special sweepers, but they're really awkward to get. I think you need to get the Super Rod, then go back to Lily Cove's beach and then fish there. It could just be the good rod though, I'm not entirely sure. And another thing, getting a Corphish or a Crawdon, you need to get the good rod, which is away from where they are, and then go back and then fish in a pond in Petalburg City for them. Now, admittedly, Crawdon isn't that good, but it looks cool, and it gets some cool moves. It's got Crab Hammer, it's got Guillotine, but it's just awkward to get. It can learn Dragon Dance. And in Generation 5, its hidden ability is Adaptability, which doubles the power of moves of the same type as it, so that'd be Water Dark. So it's got the tools to be really good, but it's hindered by its slow speed and poor special defense, I believe. I suppose Jolly Nature and Dragon Dance would offset that somehow, but it's awkward to get. Anyway. I'm a little disappointed that the Nintendo Direct that was supposed to be on Thursday was cancelled, but I understand and I hope the people of Hokkaido are doing okay. And as bad as this may be to say, earthquakes are kind of a way of life to them. So, I don't know. I don't know where I'm really going for this, but I hope they're okay, and I hope they're not too inconvenienced by it, since they're so used to it. What are you hoping, though, is revealed at the Direct whenever it appears? Because I think they're still not giving us a new release date for it. As you can see, the weather has stopped for now. Just for now, though. It'll probably happen again very soon. Whoa, that was kind of deep. Unfortunately, she's still just as weak sauce as everyone else. I also have a feeling that the game expects you to go out and fight all these trainers before you fight the Psychic Gym. Because that would explain why we're this far with the levels, not to mention the off-screen grinding I've been doing sometimes, but you can ignore that. It's not been too much, I swear. That was not a nice noise, I'm sorry for making that. Look at these two, what are these supposed to be doing? The world could potentially be ending and yous are just swimming about like it's a bloomin' Sunday at the beach. That being said, college has just started back up, so that explains why there's been less videos than you'd expect. I also finished Advance Wars 2, as you may have noticed. I'm very sorry about the audio quality there, because it's just not that good. So I'd recommend just, like, not watching it. Nah, watch it if you like. I'd recommend muting it or putting some, like, nice tracks on in the background. You'd also think they'd maybe bump up the levels from level 11, because they're not worth any experience, they're just really annoying. No, this is the Sky Pillar. You are able to return here once you're done with this little story section. However, it's a little bit harder, because you need the Mac bike. And it's one of those broken floor things like we saw in the Mirage Tower way back in episode 10, I believe. Of course, there's lots of enemies in here, which is just delightful. And it's these little shits which nobody likes. And of course they do that, which is just unpleasant. And that, which is also just unpleasant. Unfortunately for them, they cannot stand up to the might that is Earthquake. With a soft sand too. Raises that power by another 10%. So you know it's good. Like, you know it's truly up there with, like, Hyper Beam and shit like that. Speaking of Hyper Beam, I'm just extremely pleased with how well Jaffa's Hyper Beaming is doing. Never expected it to, like, do so good. It just one-shots everything. Everything it can hit, of course, and everything that is neutral against, which is basically everything. With the exception of Steel, Rock, and Ghost. But that's what Aerial Ace and Rock Smash are for. Now, I just went for Rock Smash because I'm an idiot, but it didn't matter, because Fake Out. Fake Out is terrible, and I hate it. I'm just kidding, it's really good, especially in competitive. It has priority, 40 power, and is a guaranteed flinch, so it's good for breaking focus sashes and similar things. That, and it's just plain annoying. And here we are at the top of Sky Pillar. You'd think you wouldn't need to go right there, but you have to, because apparently. Rayquaza's overworld sprite doesn't really do it any justice. It looks kind of silly if I'm being honest. And this guy, seriously. Now here is time to do a colossal waste of time. Here's when I decide to go, Okay, you know what, I'm just gonna escape rope out of here. And then suddenly I'm on the top floor again. What a colossal pain in the bum. Now I'm just going to go and just fly away, because I am impatient. And that's a big question. Where the hell did Groudon go? Did he just sink into the water? Did he take his little chunk of mud and swim it away? Also, apparently that fixed the weather instantly, which is pretty cool and all. Now you get to enjoy Sootopolis safely, because it is such a cool town, and yeah, that's it. It's just a really cool town. Okay, let's talk to these eco-terrorists. Now it's time to challenge the gym. This puzzle can be a bit odd at first, but you just need to get to the other side while stepping on all of the other tiles without doubling back on yourself. That is to say, don't step on the any tile twice, just walk there, you'll be fine. See, these levels, these are the ones that we should be dealing with in the wild. So there's a good leveling curve. Not this shit where we're fighting like some guy with a level 32 Carvanha or whatever. Oh good, Love Disc. The most annoying and also the most useless Pokemon in existence. Simply because of Attract, Sweet Kiss, and probably some other shit. Can it induce sleep? I wonder, I wonder. Thankfully, Shadow Ball chunks everything, especially thanks to the nice spell tag that Hamios has.
Boosts Ghost moves by 10%, so that Shadow Ball's got like 88 power, instead of 80 power.
Then when you take Stab into account, that becomes 128, probably? I think. I don't really know the system for this. Regardless, I'm going to fail each of these puzzles all the time and face the trainers on the floor below just for that extra experience.
And extra viewing time.
Landing smack dab in the middle. Yes, you double battle with these two, so it's not that bad. What are your thoughts on double battles? I personally think they're pretty cool, and I'm glad that they're the standard for most tournaments these days. puts on an extra layer of strategy, if you know what I mean. There's also triple battles and rotation battles, which were introduced in Gen 5 and were removed in Gen 7, which really annoys me because, well, I know the 3DS couldn't handle it, but I mean, if they could handle it in Gen 6, then what's the problem then? I mean, I don't think that there's too much hardware differences in what's it? Yeah, I don't think there's too much, like, software differences between ORAS and X and Y and Sun and Moon and their Ultra respective games. So, like, other than the actual content of the game, like, so what is it that makes the game lag even in double battles? Because I never really experienced any, like, lag or frame issues in double or triples in XY ORAS. Yet in doubles in Ultra Sun, it chokes more than, well, something that gets choked. So if anyone who is watching happens to know about that, it would be extremely cool and nice if you could explain why. Like, is it the backgrounds in Sun? Because I know they're a lot more detailed than their previous incarnations, but still, it's just odd. I don't like it. Bring back triple battles and rotation battles, because they were cool. Bro, this is cheating. Azurili ain't even a water type. There's a weird amount of trainers on this little section. There's like 6 of them. But I'm like, why? You don't really need 6, to be honest. Like, there was 2 on the other one. 2 on the other ones, like both of them. All of a sudden there's 6 up here, like, what the hell's up with that? Like, look at this. This Corphish should be a Crawdon, but it's not. Why is that? That Clamperl should have evolved, if you ask me as well. Speaking of Clamperl, it's the most awkward thing in the world to evolve. You need to trade it whilst it holds an item, which is par for the course. But it's a split evolution. So you need to get both items, get 2 Clamperls, and then trade them both whilst they're holding the respective items, if you're wanting to catch them all, as they say. Like, I really like Gorebyss, the specially oriented one. It is slightly better than Huntail, because Huntail is more of a physical attacker, whereas Gorebyss is more special oriented, especially in Gen 3, where water types were special attacks. Or water attacks were special. Yeah, that's it. But though, in recent generations, they both hold up, particularly since they can both learn Shell Smash if you evolve them late enough. So, that, like, and Shell Smash is one of the best sweeping moves in the entire game, since it raises attack, special attack, and speed by 2 stages, and lowers your defense and special defense by 1 stage. So if you can survive a hit after getting a Shell Smash, well, let's just say your opponent's in trouble because, well, you're a lot faster than them now, and you're a lot stronger than them now. The only way they're going to take you down is with a priority move or Sucker Punch. And yes, it can be stacked. And another thing you can do with it, you can use a White Herb, I think? Yes, White Herb, to just get rid of the drop to defense and special defense after it. Though personally, I do not think it's as bad as Power Herb Geomancy from Xerneas in Generation 6. Geomancy is a 2-turn move, like Solar Beam, that raises the user's special attack, special defense, and speed by 2 stages. And a Power Herb just makes that instantaneous. And Xerneas is a legendary, so it's already pretty fast and strong. I know that it's a +2 at special attack and speed, it's going to be even stronger, meaning it's just going to ruin everything's day. And since it is a fairy type, it resists dark, so you can't really Sucker Punch it unless it's on low health. And it's got decent defense, so you're in a bit of a pinch, like. Have I ever mentioned that Confusion is probably the most annoying status effect in this game? Because it is. You know what isn't annoying though? When Hyper Beam hits. Yeah. So, you may have noticed that since this is the 8th gym, we're nearing the end, and that is true. We are nearing the end. But one thing I would like to do, I would like to fight Steven. After the credits, of course. Which will be pretty good. That being said, his Pokemon levels are a cut above like everything else in the entire game. There's going to be a lot of grinding for that. I like how Pixel just literally won't die unless special attacks are involved, or Earthquake, or fighting moves. Okay, so there's a lot of things that can like really ruin Pixel's day, but everything else is just not going to do a thing to him. Like this Crunch, for example, did nothing, and Crunch is a really good move. Then again, this was in Generation where Steel types resisted Ghost and Dark before it got nerfed, so they were doing neutral damage in Generation 6. Meaning Steel types were really good in this. Steel types are pretty cool. My favourite Steel type is probably Aggron. I'm just thinking in case there's any other ones that I really like. And as it would have it, or as luck would have it, Aggron is probably my favourite. Just look at it, it's Godzilla wearing armour and a big horn for headbutting people with and rolling into people and just ruining their day. And it's like over 6 foot, so you know it's a Chad. Pretty sure it's over 6 foot. Yeah. Aggron's over 6 foot. And I believe that is it for all the trainers in here. Just gonna quickly go to the Pokemon Center and heal myself up before I battle the gym leader. I just really love the water effects. Just look at it. Like, I love the reflections, and it just looks really nice. It looks like you could actually want to swim in it, and I'm not someone who wants to go swimming all that often. And yes, I can swim. I just don't do it very often because I don't like it. Or well, it's okay, I guess. There are worse sports, like basketball. Fucking hate basketball. Dodgeball's a fun sport. I like dodgeball. Can't really play it that well. Can't really throw. My legs hurt whenever I move too much. But dodgeball's still fun. Is it a bit primal, perhaps? Is it a bit simple? Yes. But is it fun? Yes. Dodgeball is incredibly fun. Now this is the 8th gym leader, Juan, who uses water types, and of course he leads with a love disc, and this is possibly the most annoying love disc in history. So we're going to kick things off with Sunday, because Thunderbolt, of course. And of course, oh, it actually does hit. You get used to being confused and then never hitting anything, and of course it survives with 1 HP. So I guess I'll go for another Thunderbolt. And of course he goes for a potion, which is fair enough, I guess. You don't get to be a gym leader without learning how to spam potions after all. Being said, thingy, what was it? Yeah, playing Emerald for a while has made me kind of want to replay Omega Ruby and use a bunch of mons that I've never used before. Like, I've done that in this playthrough. I've never really used Absol or Aggron, really. Like, I liked it, but I've never really used it going through. I've never used Cast Farm before, and that was really fun. I have used Dusclops, Flygon, and Tentacruel before, I think? Actually, no, I don't think I have used Tentacruel before. Well, isn't that something? But yeah, I think I might replay Omega Ruby at some point. With its nice and short cutscenes, unlike Sun and Moon. See, it's just the length of the cutscenes which make me like, I don't know if I want to replay this. Which is a shame because like some of the gameplay in Sun and Moon's pretty good. But then it's just like, do I want to sit through like 15 hours of story just to get to it? And I'm like, no, that's putting me off like considerably. Now the Kingdra is Juan's ace. It's also incredibly annoying because it has Ice Beam. I think it also has Water Pulse, Double Team, and Dragon Breath? Water Pulse is pretty annoying. It's reasonably hard hitting, and it also has a high-ish chance of causing confusion. I think it's like 30%, maybe 20%. Double Team's just a pain in the arse as usual. But, amazingly, Hyper Beam manages to hit. Whether it knocks him out, though, remains to be seen. And bingo. This is why I think Jaffa's the MVP of the team. If there's a problem, I can't kill it with rollout, I can't stall it out, I can't earthquake it, just send in Jaffa and Hyper Beam it, it will work. That animation is really pretty, by the way, I like it. And this was a mistake. Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis! At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the Hoenn region, localized entirely within the Sutopolis City Gym. Yes. May I see it? No. And this is what I meant by Pixel just taking all the damage from water moves, and ground moves, and fighting moves, and things like that. Just special moves in general. Because whilst Aggron has an impressive defense, its special defense leaves a lot to be desired. However, there are items that can remedy that, such as the Assault Vest, which boosts special defense by 50% at the cost of losing the ability to use status moves, but that's fine because if you're Aggron you don't need status moves, you can just crush things with Iron Tail and things like that. So it's good for mons that are all out offensive, but just need a tiny splash of defense to get them by. And as you can see, Hamius is basically incapable of dying, no matter what you try and do, unless you've got like a status or something, which most casual gameplay doesn't. That being said, confusion is still extremely annoying. And hitting yourself in confusion is also extremely annoying. Like, who cares if he's got, like, basically no HP? He's barely taking any damage. Now imagine if Dusclops did have a good HP stat, it probably would be one of the best tanks in the game, I think. Especially in Generation 5 and beyond when they added a Violite, which increases the defenses and special defenses of a Pokemon by 50% if it is not fully evolved yet. So it's good for Pokemon like Dusclops. Extremely good for Pokemon like Dusclops. And other ones too, surprisingly. Though, interestingly, a Violite, despite its bonuses seeming to be really good, it's really not that good on lots of unevolved Pokemon. They need to be like a certain few. Like Dusclops for one, Scyther for one. Those are two that immediately come to my head. I think that Rhydon could perhaps be good for a Violite. Anyway, that was Juan. Victory is ours. He just got zapped and shadow balled and hyper beamed and all sorts of things like that. Gave us money in a nice rain badge because I like the rains, especially when they're down in Africa. And it's going to take a lot to get me away from here. And he also gave us Water Pulse because, I don't know, maybe he wants us to be an asshole with it. I would much rather use Waterfall because it is stronger than Water Pulse. The thing about Water Pulse though, the thing about Waterfall though, I think it might have a chance of causing flinching. No, it definitely has it in Generation 4 and beyond, but I don't know if it has it here, or if it's just a solid 80 power special water move. Anyway, we're just going to heal up at the Pokemon Center like we usually do. This was part 22 of Pokemon Emerald. I will see you next week. This has been Zonked Flygon. Please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a nice day.